How's it going, everybody? So I did mention the new Ubisoft Connect a few videos back, and most of the PC players should have had an update prompt for the Uplay already. Now we get this fancy new overlay that won't go away and these challenges and whatnot. Lovely. We all love that. I'm sure I'll get used to the 39 pop-ups per match. I'm just glad it doesn't show up in the recordings. But fair enough, I'm sure it'll get sorted out in the next few weeks. Apparently we can now add friends from console as well, if the Uplay and console accounts are linked properly. As everyone knows, everybody on console hates me, so I couldn't test that feature. Bummer. But jokes aside, this whole development currently has raised some questions. What exactly is it now that we're getting? And what do only some games get, but not others? And can we expect more? And many more. I've probably added to the confusion before, but I'll try and sum up everything we know currently. First of all for Honor, but then also many issues that other games, not only Ubisoft games, but other current live service games face. So, we do know that the next gen consoles release soon. For the PS5, that's November 12th and November 17th respectively, depending on where you live. I'm sure you've looked it up for your place already. The Xbox Series X releases on November 10th, and I think that's worldwide. From the release date, you can upgrade your game and can start playing straight away. All your progression should still be there, and you will be able to play with the older generation of your platform, meaning PS4 can play with PS5, and whatever letter those Xboxes have, you can also play with each other. There is no playing between PlayStation and Xbox, at least not yet, but nothing has been said about that. I'll talk more about it in just a second. And then, a few weeks later, probably with the release of the new season, For Honor gets 60 FPS on the next gen consoles. Not on the release date of the consoles. Mind you, because I'm sure people will throw a fit and complain that it feels the same. We assume this update needs some proper changes that require an actual patch and can't be done just on the fly. Expected to be mid-December. But that's just my guess, wait for the actual official confirmation of a date. So, this is what we know at the moment. On October 30th, Ubisoft released an article about cross-progression, next-gen upgrades, backwards compatibility, and even a small crossplay segment. They've since pulled that one again, which is a bit of a predicament now. Other gaming websites have used it in articles, but this really doesn't help all the confusion that occurred because of it. Not only was the wording a little vague in the first place, then removing it just shows that there are some issues. Probably not on Ubisoft's side, but more on that later. For Honor was mentioned twice. For one, on the backwards compatibility segment. This is what we already knew. I mentioned this before. If you own the game on old gen, you can play it on the next gen, no problem. All the graphical enhancement and whatnot, I've linked to Dez's video before. You can check it there. Then, for crossplay, they mentioned both For Honor as well as Siege. But when reading the explanation, they only mentioned crossplay among the same family of consoles. So, that is once again something that we've been told already. We talked about this on the Warriors Den a few weeks back. But what about all the other stuff, like actual full cross progression or full crossplay? So far, full cross progression has only been confirmed for the actual newly released titles. It's not even confirmed for Siege, Ubisoft's flagship live service game. But that's also not all that surprising once you start looking into this for other games from completely different studios. It's always the same song and dance. They want to do it, but somehow they can't, and more importantly, can't really talk details about it. Games like Dead by Daylight, a game that would benefit massively from all that. They can't confirm any actual cross progression except for Steam, Stadia and Switch, so even Nintendo got off their asses. But somehow neither Microsoft, and especially not Sony, are all that eager, or rather keep their mouths shut at the moment. But the common theme was always Sony. They're so scared of introducing something with save files, worst case scenario full jailbreak, that they seem to ignore all the benefits this can bring. Without a doubt, at least in For Honor, this has been one of the most requested features. Take your progress and move it to a new platform. Yeah, this might mean that players can easily leave the PlayStation. This also means that they can just as easily move to it. Sony, how confident are you in your product? Seriously. Even Apex, one of the premier Battle Royale games at the moment, that gets a relaunch on Steam, has trouble with cross progression. Yeah, the newly released Steam version gets it, between the Origin version and Steam. Consoles? Nah, not happening at release. Even from PS4 to PS5, there are games that do not have full cross progression because of how they handle save files. Yakuza 7, Dirt 5 for example. It's quite the joke if you ask me that they can't even guarantee it in the same family of consoles. So no, it's not Ubisoft's fault here. I think it's pretty easy to point the finger at Sony, and it's most likely them that currently silence all the big publishers and keep stringing them along. That's why we get all these vague statements, pulled articles, and general uncertainty when it comes to these topics. I have no doubt that we'll eventually see this fully implemented, similar to what Destiny 2 already managed to do. The only real exception seems to be cross-purchases. Whatever currency each platform is using is not valid on the others, which is somewhat understandable. In general, microtransactions might lead to a few more problems. Epic Store seems to have figured that one out quite nicely, having many of the current cross-platform games in their inventory. Everyone getting their cut, and that's probably also one of the big talking points. I mean, they should have figured out the business side quite a while ago, but who knows who's getting greedy at this point. All in all, especially the cross-progression feature will probably have quite a few hurdles that need to be overcome. Most players will want a merging of their accounts, something we'll probably not see, especially considering it's already being done at the moment among the non-big console platforms. You basically choose one account as your main one and keep that one. In-game purchases will be carried over additionally. In case of For Honor, that probably means season passes, DLCs and all that. We will see once the time comes. Should it come? But I'm pretty confident that it will. I've outlined this previously already in the video when we got the initial message from Ubisoft's CEO. But crossplay is just a natural progression of gaming. It's simply the next step, and especially live service games need, and most importantly, want to take that step. It has massive benefits for a game's population size, and thus player retention. Especially for crossplay, not everyone will be happy and people will immediately feel inferior because of their platform choice. Some will use it as a welcome excuse, others will claim flat out cheating. There will, without a doubt, be an opt-out. So if someone truly thinks the negatives outweigh the benefits, then by all means, go opt-out. But considering the projected sales numbers of the next-gen consoles, there will be more than enough people that will give it a try. Having to overcome input methods and result in balanced decisions is just another roadblock along the way. You can already see it now with the ridiculous aim assist for controllers in FPS games. Gladly, we don't really have to worry about this training wheel scenario in our game. But that's a topic for another day. For now, we just have to wait and see. This needs to be, and probably will be sorted out in the very near future, and announcements will come, probably still this year. Let's hope for the best, and I can't wait to have a bigger community to play with. I hope most of you feel the same. Having said that, hope the video was interesting. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.